All right, day 5 of the fast. 9:08 p.m. February 5th, 2024. Today I started my job and it went pretty well, I'd say. Um, I also finished that painting last night. I was like, it was real important that I did that. I didn't even let myself go to bed until I did. Luckily, I didn't go to bed too late. Um, but yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about rock bottom, right? Because I feel like I have definitely hit rock bottom. I have $5 left in my account. I have to somehow figure out how to live off that for the week. The job I'm at is way, it's just way worse than the jobs that I've done. And, you know, but sometimes it's necessary for God to pull us into rock bottom so that we can actually see and finally just run out of excuses. Because I was making a lot of excuses. I was like, I can't go to school because I don't have enough time. My job takes up too much of my time. And let's be honest, my last job did. And I was like, ooh, I can't go here because I don't have a car. And that's still a valid excuse. But yeah, if if you can't wake yourself up, or God has called to you many times and you ignore him, he will drop you down into rock bottom. And how severe that rock bottom are is varies. Like, I still have a roof over my head. I was able to get a job relatively quickly, so I won't be out of money for very much longer. But I basically went back to the beginning of my journey, like back to retail, which I absolutely hate. And yeah, it's important for us to realize what we got before it's taken. But it's also important for us to notice when we are in the wrong place at the wrong time. Most likely, if something feels wrong in your gut, not your heart or your head, because your head is too logical, your heart is too fickle. But your gut contains your soul. Scientists call it the subconscious. Gurus call it intuition. But usually, a gut feeling is your spirit speaking to you. And I had to learn that the hard way. I had a gut feeling that I had to leave. And eventually, I was fighting fate so long that it decided for me. I knew in my gut that I had to get better, pursue my purpose, and give up some of the things that I grew comfortable with. And once again, I fought fate for so long, it decided for me. And I'm not trying to say this to scare any of you. Sometimes it's necessary. We as humans, we sometimes we have to touch the flame to learn it's hot. That's been true since the BC ages, since we were cavemen and cave women fighting tigers. Sometimes we have to feel the teeth are sharp to understand they are sharp. Not everybody is like that, but usually after it happens the first time, we're pretty good about learning and not doing it again. So just remember, it's important to listen to your gut. if you feel something is wrong and you have rooted out that it's not from your head and it's not your heart speaking to you, then that is probably the first sign that you need to change something or do something different. Take a risk. Now, sometimes it requires a little bit of patience. And like I said, you have to figure out if that's your head talking or your heart talking first. And if it's neither of those, then it's your spirit. It's your gut talking. Now that I've gotten that message out there, it's time for a progress assessment. Like, I finished the painting, sent it to a person to be judged. They gave me the feedback. Ended up not doing as bad as I thought I was, which is pretty good because I hadn't picked up a paintbrush for a very long while. I went ahead and started exercising. Nothing too bad. Just push-ups and sit-ups. I am still behind on rent, but hopefully that won't be for long. My car, I really hope that guy doesn't come back, but if he doesn't, I'll at least figure out how to put it together myself. I mean, that was the whole point. Like, I can probably watch a YouTube video and at least see how it's taken apart and just reverse engineer it. I've done that with electronics and game systems and everything else of the like. I've already decided that once I get my funds caught up, I'm gonna paint my walls. I'm gonna go for like a work play vibe where I'm only gonna paint two of the walls a certain color, kind of like accent colors. Everything else will stay the same. Like, of I'm thinking of painting that wall and the one by my bed. Maybe a shade of deep purple. I'm thinking purple because I've actually grown to like purple. Like, I would switch between red and blue, but I think I've set on purple. And yeah. Maybe next time I'll have some music or something for you guys to listen to while I'm doing this, but yeah. I'm gonna go close off the night. Maybe I'll do something. Maybe I'll pick up a pencil and draw or a paintbrush. But yeah. I hope you all are doing the same thing. I really hope that you guys aren't waiting for something to happen, because one of the hardest lessons I've learned in my Christian journey is that God helps those who help themselves, not the ones that help themselves by stepping on other people. Of course, like betrayal and stuff like that, that goes against everything God and Jesus has taught. But He does want you to take action yourself. And I don't claim to be an expert in any way. If anything, like the people who do happen across my videos, or maybe no one, but like, this is supposed to be a video journal first and lessons later. But if anybody does run into this, well, depending on when you ran into it, chances are this channel will be gone, because it's only going to be up for 4 months. Maybe I'll use it as my fasting channel overall and just like update it every year or so. Maybe even rename it. But if you guys recognize my voice or my face, whatever, like when I do start like a real channel, because this is just practice, then I'll say hello at the very least. I'll acknowledge. You know, it'll be like seeing a familiar face. And also, I think an assignment is because, like, I told you guys to do an assignment, one of these videos, and I ended up not doing it myself. But I was watching like some self-improvement videos myself, and I think we should write down the people that we want to be, the traits that we have, like the person 5 years from now, everything that we want, and then also right next to it, write down the things that are currently stopping us from being that person. And then right next to that, the solutions. And if you don't know the solutions now, that's okay. That just requires a little bit of research. But, you know, if anything, like the people who run into my channel, if you don't like leak into my main channel, I at least want this to be a start, a wake-up call, I guess you could say. And then you can move on to other channels that may have it on better than I do. I do know a few, and I follow them myself. But it's important to remember that you got to start somewhere. But the important thing is starting. After that, it's just showing up every day, even if you don't want to. And sometimes you are going to mess up. You'll forget days, you'll forget weeks. But it's important to keep getting back up. Always try new things. And most likely, if you're afraid of the thing that God told you to do, chances are you need to start it right now. God bless.